Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back into Earth Nerd, where we discuss everything going on in the world of nerd and geek culture. I'm Bryce West alongside Corbin Shanklin.
Hey, everyone.
Today, we have a really fun video for you all planned. Daredevil, he's back. Save Daredevil. It worked. He has returned. He's going to be in the MCU proper. It's gonna be really cool. And this is something that Corbin and I both are really looking forward to as fans of the original show. I think both of us really like his appearances in Spider-Man and She-Hulk. So that's going to be something that we're going to be really looking forward to. The only problem is it doesn't come out till what, 2024, 25?
Yeah, I know the shoot is going to take up most of 2023. So we're looking at somewhere in 2024 at the earliest.
Yeah, because we're looking at an 18 episode season,
Yeah.
which is
But
wild. Longer by far, not even close to any of the Disney Plus shows. Even longer than any of the seasons of the original show that were on Netflix that were 13 episodes each.
yes, sir.
So that's crazy. It'll be interesting to see how that kind of plans out. But Corbin, do you want to kind of get us started with what you're looking forward to seeing in Daredevil Born Again?
Yeah, definitely. Talking about the massive episode count. I mean, this is going to be a longer TV show than anything in the MCU except for the early seasons of Agents of Shield, which ran for like I think 22 episodes generally. So I for one would like to see some shorter episodes than like the original TV show because
Really?
those varied from what like 45 minutes to an hour, right? Sometimes a little bit longer. And I think one of the consistent challenges that the old Netflix era, Daredevil, Punisher, Defenders, all that those shows faced was they had some pacing problems. So I think if Born Again decides to do like 30 to 39 minutes, somewhere in that range, then I think the 18 episodes, like it's going to make for a different show. And I think it could really help out the pacing. I don't know. What do you think about that?
So you were thinking like some of the storylines went on too quickly in the original show?
No, I think like
They were stretched out. So I
they
think that could
drag
make it even
on,
worse.
you know.
Yeah.
And so I think if
Yeah.
since we're doing 18 episodes, maybe a little bit shorter episode
Oh,
length
okay.
would
Yeah.
be for the best.
I
Yeah.
don't think they're gonna do that.
You think we're looking at 45-minute hour length
Yeah.
probably?
Yeah. I'm a little concerned with the 18 episodes, not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I hate like we could almost do a whole video on this. I hate the 6 episode format. I
Hmm.
think it is stupid. I think it is horrible for storytelling. A lot of these shows, especially something like Ms. Marvel, should have just been a movie.
Hmm.
Whenever you stretch something, you can't just make a 6 hour long movie and then expect it to have good pacing. I don't think really any of the Disney Plus shows for Marvel so far have had good pacing.
Hmm.
Now, with 18 episodes, that is 3 times the length of a normal Marvel project.
It's crazy.
So we're going to have the complete opposite problem I foresee. So it does concern me quite a bit. But you never know. They might be able to do something really cool with it. Maybe if they do it, kind of like I haven't watched all of Andor, but from what I understand with Andor, they have like arcs,
Hmm.
like different arcs. And so maybe if they did something like what Lucasfilm did with Andor and have maybe like 3 different arcs, like 6 episodes, 6 episodes, 6 episodes. I think that could be something that would be cool to see, like maybe like sort of like for lack of a better term, 3 seasons in one.
Hmm.
Um, but hopefully, it wouldn't feel like that. Hopefully, it still feels like one season. But I don't know. Like, I think the long season format also doesn't really like with like the CW and their 23 episodes. I also think that doesn't work because I'm afraid that with Daredevil Born Again, we're going to be getting some filler in there. And filler isn't inherently bad, but I think with a streaming series, it is incredibly avoidable.
Hmm.
So yeah, 18 episodes does concern me quite a
Yeah. So in regards to what you said about the idea of splitting Born Again up into like these kind of pods, like little multi-episode arcs within the
bit. Yeah.
overall season, Agents of Shield season 4 actually does that. You got the first chunk is Ghost Rider, and then you've got LMD, like life model decoys, and then they do this thing that's called the framework, which is kind of like this matrix reality where Hydra takes over, and it works phenomenally well because it's for like 4 episodes longer than Born Again's gonna be, but it's got the best pacing out of any of the earlier stuff. I haven't seen Andor yet, so I'm not sure how well they use that to their advantage or
Yeah,
not.
I've only seen one
But
episode. I've heard it's amazing, but like
yeah,
I haven't. All I know is that they have these arcs that they do, and everybody loves it. So that's all I
yeah,
know about that.
I'm looking forward to it. My brother says it's possibly the greatest show he's ever watched, so I promised him I'm going to get to it. But
Yeah,
we,
I've been this is going completely off topic, but the thing that worries about me about Andor is how highly it's been praised. Because now
yeah,
I'm going to be going into the show thinking it's like expecting like 5 out of 5s all around,
hmm
and I think it's really hard to live to those types of expectations. So we'll see. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
back to
Let us
Daredevil.
let us know if you want us to talk about Andor in the future, guys. Absolutely.
Yeah,
But yeah, and in regard to what you were saying about filler episodes, that I think that's definitely a concern. It's something that Born Again could struggle with. On the flip side, I think it's interesting that this is the first and so far only show from the older pre-Disney Plus era of Marvel Television to get a continuation. It's also
yeah,
specifically from the Netflix corner of things. So it's got that built-in connection to Defenders, to Punisher,
yeah.
Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, all of that.
And by the
Um,
way, the original Daredevil series is like super canon. Like just saying. Like
yeah.
I don't know. Like the actors have come out and said it was. I know Charlie Cox made a comment that I think confused a lot of people. I think
hmm
he said like this is like a completely different. He said Born Again was a completely different thing or something along the lines, which
Yeah.
it is. It will be a completely different show. This isn't going to be Daredevil season 4. It's still the exact same character though, and I think they've been very clear in saying such. I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio like said it like literally whenever
Yeah.
Hawkeye was coming out, and then people were like, "Well, he's just an actor; he doesn't know."
Yeah.
It's the
That
character he's playing. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, so
Absolutely, I agree. I'm of the opinion that Born Again is continuing, the
yeah,
world, the characters, all of that we saw in the original series. I also think that when it comes to Marvel, they love to be very nebulous and ambiguous when it
yeah,
comes to things like continuity,
yeah. Which is
especially
so
if
stupid. Yeah,
there's issues. So the advice I always try and give to people is like just treat it as the proof is in the pudding. Once you see something on screen, like that is how
yeah,
whether other reporters are telling you something, other fans are saying, oh, this doesn't count, this does.
yeah,
Just look at what you see on screen, and if it makes sense, then that's probably like the reality, the actual
yeah.
canon and
Why
continuity.
would they bring them back if they're not continuing? I mean, like I said, this isn't going to be Daredevil season 4,
Mm-hmm.
but it is still continuing the story of these characters. The like in She-Hulk, it very clearly is the same character as in Daredevil seasons 1 through 3. They literally played the theme song in the background. I don't know how much more clear it can get. You
I
know,
love that moment. I
yeah,
definitely agree. Down to the yellow
yeah,
suit basically being the red suit with a new paint job.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot. But then there's also the weird situation of actors like Eldon Henson and Deborah Ann Woll, who we have to assume Foggy and Karen are going to be in Born Again. Why hasn't
yeah.
Marvel made that announcement?
Well, it is
You know,
excuse me, it is coming out pretty far down the line.
mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I mean,
I can't speak for Foggy, but in Karen's case, the actor's been extremely outspoken that like I think there is more stories to tell with Karen
yeah,
Page. Like I want to be a part of this show, but and maybe this is she's just doing what she's being told to do and saying what she's being told to say at this
yeah.
point in time, and that could change. I don't know, but I do
Well,
think
I
it's
don't know. It seems like
strange
she's
that
been pretty
circumstance.
out of the know
Yeah.
because like during the whole Spider-Man thing, there was that whole drama where I
hmm
think her husband or somebody said like this is completely ridiculous and Charlie Cox isn't in Spider-Man
hmm
or whatever kind of thing when he clearly had no idea what he was talking about. So I just don't think they know.
Yeah.
I truly don't think that they know.
hmm Well,
So
the
because
shoot is just a couple months away, though. We're in November now, isn't it?
she might know now.
Mhm.
Like when did she make these statements before? Was it recently?
So she said something recently. I can pull it up super quick.
Okay, well then maybe I don't know,
In
but
regards
I do
to
think it would
the,
be ridiculous for them not to bring back Foggy and Karen.
yeah,
Those two are like integral to the character of
yeah,
Daredevil.
that's like, it's got multiple stars by on my notes of things I want in Born Again. We need to see
Yeah,
Murdoch, Nelson, and Page, like that law firm as it's set up at the end of season 3. We need to see that go somewhere. We never have. It's been sitting
yeah,
collecting dust for years. You know,
yeah,
that
and
it would be such a missed opportunity not
yeah,
to capitalize on.
I'm hoping after Echo we'll get to see more of what we've been missing from Daredevil for the past.
Mm-hmm.
How long has it been canonically? I think She-Hulk takes place in like 2025.
Mm-hmm. It's been a
So
while,
since
long time.
2018 their time. So it's been a minute. So and we don't know who was blipped and who wasn't. I'm pretty sure we know that Kingpin was never blipped.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know anything about the rest of the Daredevil cast members.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to explore. I mean, I don't want every single Marvel project from now on to explore the blip, but I think
Mm-hmm.
this one would be, in particular would be really interesting to find out what happened to them since they've just been gone so long, even before Infinity War even happened.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree. I think
so
throughout phase 4 and 5, it is, I think that's probably going to be consistently a question fans ask with every new project is like,
yeah,
well, what if, because in my experience with Wakanda Forever just recently, I'm curious, did the people of Talokan, like, how did they feel about the blip? Were they just confused as hell? Like, Namor's people are
yeah,
cut off from society, and that's never
yeah.
mentioned. So I've been just, I don't know,
Yeah,
speculating
I feel like
about
it's
stuff like
really
that.
they've really put themselves in a rough spot because you can't mention it for every single
Mm-hmm.
project, but it does raise a lot of questions.
Definitely.
So I don't know. I think for everything else, I'm just gonna say whatever, I'll forgive it because like we've talked about the blip enough already in phase four. But I
Mm-hmm.
think with Daredevil in particular, I think that would be really at least one last one to explore. Um and then we can deal with Secret War stuff.
Yeah,
So, which
I
we're getting ready to do in Ant-Man. So,
mhm. Yeah, Kang looks so great. I work at a theater, so I see that trailer play like every shift. And I just the um he Scott Lang gives a look, like when Kang is like, so what's it gonna be? Ant-Man, and I can't recreate it. I'm not gonna try, but it's just
yeah,
perfect. And I love
yeah.
Paul Rudd so much, and I'm so excited for that. We got to do a Quantum Mania video sometime
So
in the future.
interesting thing about that. So Daredevil Born Again is a part of the multiverse saga.
Mm-hmm.
So are we going to see Daredevil in Secret Wars? Like,
I think
it would be
definitely.
such a weird
Yeah,
thing.
I think 100% we're going to see
Really?
a lot more street level characters in Secret War. Like, I think Secret Wars is going to be bringing everyone together. And then you also have the question of what is the new Avengers lineup going to look like for
Yeah.
Kang Dynasty and Secret
Mhm.
Wars? I'm personally expecting Daredevil to be
Really?
an Avenger in either Avengers 5 or 6, that being
Wow.
Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, respectively. And
Yeah.
that's more of a gut feeling. And um, I think he's like he's the representative from that part of the Marvel universe, which is a big part, and with Born Again will become the longest TV show in the multiverse saga, at least announced
Yeah.
thus far. Like it's got
Just
to
from one
be,
season alone.
it
Yeah.
has to be important to the
Yeah.
grander picture of things outside of itself. And like I also think people are going to lose their minds when they see Charlie Cox in his new Avengers Daredevil costume. Like
Yeah.
that's gonna be a huge moment if it comes to pass.
Right.
So
So kind of unrelated, but kind of not. Do we expect to see? Because we've heard that Kevin Feige is looking to bring back anyone for
mhm.
Secret Wars. Do we see Ben Affleck as Daredevil in Secret Wars alongside Charlie Cox?
I just don't think Affleck would want to do it.
I don't think so either, but that would be
But
so funny.
like I watched the director's cut of the Ben Affleck Daredevil for the first time
Really?
several months ago, and I gotta say, like I truth be told, I've always liked that movie. Even before I watched the
Interesting.
R-rated
Okay.
director's cut, which adds like 15-20 minutes of footage or something like that, and I think is a significant improvement over the
Mm-hmm.
original work. But like I think as a kid, I was like, everyone loves Spider-Man, everyone loves the X-Men. I got Daredevil and I got Ghost Rider. Those were my boys,
Yeah,
even though their movies were kind of trash. So
yeah.
it would make me happy to see Ben Affleck's Daredevil make a cameo in Secret Wars, but I don't know
Can you
how many
imagine?
people would even care at the
What if
same time.
what if like a potential Justice League sequel
Mhm.
and Secret Wars came out in like the same year? And so, like that would be so funny. But anyway, I think just overall, like what I'm most excited to see in Daredevil Born Again. I know you're really looking forward to them like going back and potentially, we don't know for sure, like exploring some of the things that were left behind
Yeah.
in Daredevil the original series. I don't think we're gonna get a lot of that. So I think what I'm most looking forward to seeing is just Daredevil just chilling, interacting with the MCU proper finally.
Hmm.
I think he would have been a really cool inclusion in Civil War. We never got that. So I think I'm just really looking forward to him interacting with people like Spider-Man, with we already saw him with She-Hulk. We know he's going to be an Echo. I'd love to see him interact with Captain America. I think he would be a really cool person to have a little stint or bout with the Thunderbolts. Just anything like just seeing Daredevil with anyone would get me excited at this point. Because he's been gone for so long, and his show, I think I'm gonna say, is probably the best MCU thing ever. So,
It's pretty up there. It's a solid
yeah.
piece of work.
So I think I honestly I would like to see um and it looks like we might be kind of building up to this to where in the Netflix series, or as we now know it as the Defender saga, we saw it build up to obviously the Defenders. I think it would be, I don't necessarily want to see the Defenders again, but I think they're clearly doing something with the street level heroes. It seems like we're doing like the event films, and then like the Avengers level threats, and then we're doing like a separate street level line.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool for that to lead into something of its own that isn't Secret Wars. Whether it be, I guess it could be another Defenders team. Definitely don't think they're gonna go that route. Or it could just be like just another form of the Avengers. Like is there like a street level Avengers in the comics that would be like kind of what
Um,
I'm
I
describing?
think they could take Heroes for Hire that route if they wanted.
Yeah.
Heroes for Hire is traditionally associated with Iron Fist and Luke Cage and that being kind of their thing. But there
Yeah.
has been times where like they've had a big Avengers style kind of roster. So I
Hmm.
think that could be a possibility. And yeah, I think I would be shocked to see a Defenders season 2 or like a Defenders Born Again sort of thing. If
Defenders
anything,
Born Again.
I think it's more likely with the Defenders branding that they would go for the classic team from the
Oh yeah.
comics. Now that they have
Yeah.
everyone, that being Namor, Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, and Hulk. There's been some rumors that Silver Surfer is coming to the Guardians holiday special. So if
That would be
that's
awesome.
true, then they have the 4 classic Defenders members, and like Namor was just so fantastic in Wakanda
Oh my
Forever. I
gosh.
need more of him.
Yeah.
Give me
That
that
whole movie,
ASAP.
that whole movie was just like, I mean, like it instantly like became the top Phase 4 film, and it's not really I mean, Spider-Man is close,
Mm-hmm.
but it still definitely beats Spider-Man,
Yeah, no, Wakanda
for me.
Forever was far and above one
Yeah.
of my favorite Phase 4 projects. One of my favorite
Honestly,
Marvel movies, period. Just
yeah.
wow.
I think
What a film.
Daredevil would be an interesting inclusion into that group because I mean
Mm-hmm.
we have like Doctor Strange with the mystic arts. We have Hulk, who is just Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Namor, who is like this, like this is the first mutant. Then Silver Surfer with the cosmic side, and then if you just kind of throw in Daredevil as the street level hero, I think that would be a really badass roster for
Mm-hmm.
the Defenders. Not gonna lie. So
Yeah,
maybe they should do it.
I'd watch the hell out of that, honestly. And then you do
Yeah.
have that kind of thematic tie, Daredevil being the one member that would be on both teams. I could really enjoy that. But yeah, in regards
Yeah.
to what you're saying about the potential of seeing Daredevil interact with all these characters from the movies and these new shows that that was unable to happen on the old series. I totally agree. I think continuing his storylines with Echo, She-Hulk, and Spider-Man is a must.
Yeah.
One guest star from the new Disney Plus shows I would love to see in Born Again is Moon Knight.
Oh yeah.
I love Moon
Yeah.
Knight. I think they would. I think they'd have fantastic chemistry and have so much to
Yeah.
learn from each other. And I think that could be a really cool way to set up Moon Knight season 2. Even
Yeah.
though that hasn't officially been given the green light, I think we all
Yeah.
know it's pretty likely.
I don't
Oscar
know if I
Isaac
would.
keeps teasing it, at
Yeah,
least.
I don't know if I would want to see Moon Knight team up with anybody until we get Moon Knight season 2, because that left on a pretty big cliffhanger,
It
and
would
I
be a
wouldn't really.
challenge to write around, but like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? I don't know. It's a good point.
Yeah.
It might be a logistical problem.
Yeah,
I hear what you're
because that
saying.
was a pretty massive cliffhanger that they left off on, and I don't really want them to explain that like Boba Fett style in someone else's show,
Hmm.
So I think I would I would love to
Well,
see Daredevil and Moon Knight team up, but yeah, I
mm,
think I would definitely want season 2 of Moon Knight first
if I
before.
if I may, I don't even
Yeah,
think that a theoretical Moon Knight guest appearance on Born Again would necessarily explain it. I think the coolest thing would be if we see Moon Knight as a hero, we see Steven, we see Mark, and we see him interacting with Daredevil. It appears that he's in control, that, he's figured his stuff out. And
yeah,
then at the end of it, we see that whatever they were doing, whatever mission they went on, it was really serving Khonshu's own ends. So then Khonshu's now not only manipulating Moon Knight, but also
yeah.
Daredevil. Like, that would
That would
be
be interesting.
kind of mind blowing if they
They,
went that direction.
and they've
Uh,
got plenty of time to do it too. They got 18 episodes, you know.
yeah,
So I do wonder, like, is this just is Daredevil Born Again, with how long it is, just going to be like a cameo fest, like kind of like a
I think guest stars out the ass would be the way to go if you ask me.
really?
Like, I mean, we're going to be watching Born Again for a long time if we're getting one episode a week.
Yeah,
Okay, it's going to be a few months. So like, I think periodically, if we saw She-Hulk come by and continue
periodically, yeah,
that love story, we see Punisher come by, and like how has his relationship with Red changed in the years that have passed since their old shows. Or Luke Cage is a huge one for me, because Luke Cage season 2 ends on this crazy cliffhanger where like
hmm
he's effectively established himself as the new Godfather of Harlem, like doing what Cottonmouth used to do. And that's like, how does Daredevil respond to that? I
yeah,
need like, that'd be such a cool episode of Born Again and
yeah.
I don't think,
8 years later, all
yeah,
right, I finally got to deal with this.
yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
think you could do flashbacks, and I also think having that big gap between the old stuff and Born Again affords them so much like creative freedom, like
yeah,
to write shows that feature these guest appearances, either from newer, like more prominent Marvel stars. Obviously, you don't like people. You're going to expect, if Spider-Man shows up, that the viewers have seen Spider-Man No Way Home, right? But
yeah,
you can't count on that with an Iron Fist guest episode. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
because of this big time gap, I think that would give the creative team involved the freedom to tell an Iron Fist story that works well, that services Born Again, but isn't one where you would have had to see anything
yeah.
beforehand. I also think Marvel Legends helps a lot. Like, please make a Marvel
Right.
Legends Daredevil episode. Make one for all the old shows. If
I am actually
you
really
know,
interested to see if they do that, because they didn't do that for um who was it? I think with the Peggy Carter episode that they did, they like
mhm.
completely omitted all the Agent Carter stuff.
Yeah, I
So
think you're right. Kind of strange.
so that would be interesting to see, like, if they if they do a Marvel Legends episode for Daredevil, if they do include the Daredevil original series, or if they just do Spider-Man and um uh,
It's just 5 seconds
She-Hulk.
long. Like,
Yeah.
be the
Yeah.
shortest
Well, I guess
Marvel
he would be
Legends
an Echo
ever.
at that point too.
Yeah, that's
But
that's
but
true.
they never did one for Kingpin,
Mm-mm.
for Hawkeye. Although he was kind of a surprise
And
character.
we didn't even have the
So
shows back on Disney Plus when Hawkeye was airing, if I
that's
remember
true. That's
correctly.
true.
But like, now
Yeah.
they do. So like, before it was always like, could they even do a Marvel Legends? But now I feel like they must be able to if they want, right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they should be able, they have the rights to it now, clearly. So, yeah, I mean, that'll be interesting. So, what are kind of some of the things that, realistically speaking, you would like to see kind of carry over from the
Mhm.
original program to Born Again?
Um, the biggest things I want to see Vanessa. Okay, don't give
Oh,
me
yeah.
a super long Kingpin arc with no Vanessa. That would be stupid. Like, please, I hope you're listening, someone at Marvel. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a
It's not
little
too
bit
late. You haven't started filming yet.
like she's such an integral part of his character, like not
Yeah.
just on the Daredevil original series, but in Into the Spider-Verse. Or I listened to this scripted like immersive audio podcast thing on Spotify called
For
Marvel's
Daredevil?
Wastelanders. No, it's Marvel's
Oh, okay.
Wastelanders Doom, but it featured Kingpin.
Okay.
um and yeah, Keith David voiced him as is a supporting role, but really cool. And even then, like the absence of Vanessa, like the loss that he feels from not having her is such an important part of his art.
Yeah.
It needs to be relevant to Born Again. So that's number one. Number two, Bullseye. Okay, like that was the big setup at the end of season three. I
Mhm.
think people loved Wilson Bethel's performance. I think Marvel can afford to pay him, and get him a good super suit finally, instead of him
Yeah.
just wearing Daredevil's suit.
Yeah,
Although,
that was weird. Yeah.
and then finally, Elektra, right? I
Oh my
know,
gosh, yes, please. I
I,
want Electra, like I want her own show or movie even. Like
amen,
Electra in season 2 of Daredevil is one of the best performances in Marvel, not MCU, Marvel or even comic book adaptation history. I
agreed.
love her adaptation of Electra. Yeah, we need more Electra. Don't know if we're gonna get it. In fact, I don't think that we are, but but that would make the whole series for me if Electra came back.
For me, I think Born Again needs to address Elektra in one way or another, and there's, I think, two strong possibilities. The first one, perhaps the likelier one, if they address it, is that we're going to see Matt visiting like a tombstone, and it turns out that she did die at the end of Defenders, even though he lived. That'd be dumb, but at
That
least
would
we
be really
know
dumb. Yeah,
Elektra's gone, right?
yeah,
Because as it stands now, like they went down together, and Matt, he was a little bit bruised and battered, but it was eventually fine. So I
yeah,
think so. I've been thinking, well, did Elektra make it out too for literally
yeah,
years? So either tell me that she didn't, or bring her back in Born Again, and continue that arc, but reinvent it for fans who haven't seen Daredevil season two. Um,
yeah.
so much potential there.
It also it has to be the same actors. Like
Yeah,
if it's a
Elodie
recast,
Young. Mm-mm.
yeah, if
The,
it's a recast, I don't care.
yeah,
If it's a recast, everything I said, throw it out the window
yeah,
because
Elodie Young or nothing.
yeah, because she literally is like what Margot Robbie is to Harley Quinn, she is to Elektra.
Hmm.
And I have no desire to see anyone else in the role. So if you're not bringing her back, don't bring her back at all.
Hmm.
And I would have said the same thing for Charlie Cox or Vincent D'Onofrio. Like those three, just right there, are perfect casting. Like I don't think you can get any better than those three.
Hmm.
So yeah, if how do you pronounce her name? Elodie Young?
I think it's Elodie Young. If I'm
Elodie Young.
mispronouncing
Like
that,
if it's not,
terribly sorry.
yeah. If we don't get Young back, then just I don't care.
Yeah,
So it has to be her.
yeah. The,
But
the the final thing I would just say about Elektra is that I think you bring her back, then you also bring back the opportunity to do the hand and to get it right. Because like the hand is so important to Daredevil's lore in
yeah.
any adaptation, and like they've got some okay material in the
Mhm.
Defenders saga, but I think that was a big disappointment for a lot of people, and for me, in specifically regards to Elektra, the whole black sky thing doesn't make a lot of sense, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Like what is the black sky? I've seen, like, I've watched it multiple times. I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly,
um
you're speaking of it right now, and I don't even remember what that is.
Yeah,
So,
like
so
Elektra was supposed to be
yeah,
some being known
yeah,
as the Black Sky, and that's why the Hand wanted her.
right.
And
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah. Okay. I'm back with you now. Yeah,
it's not well developed and it doesn't make a lot of sense. So there's
yeah.
opportunity for a great retcon to fix some old
That's
mistakes.
right. I completely forgot about that whole
It's
storyline.
because it's one
Yeah,
of the weakest parts of the show, to
yeah,
be frank.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I still love her, still love Elektra's storyline, and like it's a great arc regardless. So let's
Mhm.
keep it
Right.
going.
I think one other new thing I want to see is this is kind of separate from the show, but all right, let's go over this right now. What are the odds that like Daredevil's like totally in Spider-Man 4?
I would
Like,
say pretty good.
yeah,
I think I know there's already been some rumors that that's going to be the case. That Born Again is going to at least set up Spider-Man if it's not going to feature like crossover characters.
yeah,
I think like they have a really interesting dynamic that we only got to see super briefly in No Way Home, right?
yeah,
But like, what can Spider-Man as a hero learn from Daredevil? Like they've both suffered so much loss, and
right.
like they've got so many similarities, but also some very distinct differences. Um, I don't have any idea what I really expect Spider-Man 4 to look like, but one of my
I would
the
kind of like
biggest.
Kingpin to be the main bad guy. I mean, he's like a major villain for
Mhm,
both of those heroes,
I think it'd
like
be really
super
cool.
major for almost equally to the two. And
Hmm.
so, like, I think it would be really cool to see Kingpin as the main villain of Spider-Man, and the two team up to like take him down, maybe for real this time.
Hmm.
I think that would be the perfect way to kind of like cap off Kingpin's story. Uh, by having the two of them fight him. So that would be really cool. Another thing that I just thought about whenever we were talking about No Way Home is
Hmm.
that I think it would be really funny if Happy Hogan showed up in Daredevil Born Again. If you watch the extended cut of No Way Home, we
Hmm.
get a little more of the two's interaction with each other, and it is so funny.
Happy's a
And
treasure. So more happy,
yeah,
I'm happy.
well, and also he played Foggy in the Ben
Yes.
Affleck version.
Yeah.
So I think that would just be a cool connection to make there. That would be really cool. But yeah, I think is there anything else you would like to add before we wrap things up?
Give me Frank Castle back. That's it.
Yeah.
I want the Punisher. He's
He honestly probably another pretty close to perfect casting there as well.
like his I think he makes the most sense out of anyone from the other shows to bring back,
Yeah.
seeing as he's introduced and has this very long, like throughout pretty much the entirety of season two. Frank Castle's in, I think, like every episode for at least a little bit.
Yeah, in
Um,
season 2, yeah.
yeah, and I think that's another one of those like perfect Margot Robbie, Robert Downey Jr. Kind of castings. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna find someone better. So um, I think, yeah, I could rant about Punisher for forever. If you could give me one guest
Yeah.
star, that would be it. So I just wanted to put that out there. But I'm so
Maybe we'll do
excited
that
for
for a
this.
future video.
Yes, yeah, I'd love to talk more Punisher sometime. But yeah, I think Born Again is going to be really cool no matter what happens. It's been really interesting seeing what we both hope for and are afraid about, and just all the possibilities for this new show. So that's
Yeah.
all for me.
All right, I think that wraps things up, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. What are you all looking forward to seeing in Daredevil Born Again? Let us know in the comments below if you think we left something out or you just want to bring something up. We've got a bunch of new awesome upcoming videos planned for you all, so be sure to subscribe. Stay tuned for more. And yeah, once again, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you all later.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Peace.